it's funny. Yesterday, I was really talking about how we're starting to win. We're entering this post-woke world. There's a lot of good signs for all sorts of things. And so what's unfortunate about what's just happened, and especially, again, because this has happened because of a leak, is that it's going to sort of make us take our eye off of some of the good things that are happening, say the mask mandates going away, say Elon getting Twitter, all the good stuff, DeSantis fighting Disney, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to all be focusing on abortion, which because of the existential issues related to it, is something that is insolvable in some ways and intractable in so many ways. So it's going to, like, the hate is just going to start bubbling up again, right? It's back. It's back. We have to acknowledge that. But also what it's going to do is this is going to mask a whole bunch of disastrous policy stuff that the Biden administration has been doing for the last year and a half, whether it's on censorship, COVID, or student loans. We've got a little compilation for you.
The mandate is not to adjudicate what is true or false online or otherwise. It will operate in a nonpartisan and apolitical manner. It should not be lost on anyone that there is a dire need for money to continue to fund our needs on COVID.
On inflation, has the White House analyzed at all how much student loan forgiveness would impact inflation?
I know there's been outside analysis of that, but I don't have any internal analysis at this point to.
So those are just like 3 examples of the disastrous stuff, whether it's the Ministry of Truth that they've now started to put together so that they can infringe on our ability to speak freely and the First Amendment rights, or whether it's just scaring us with more COVID nonsense, or whether it's that they want to take care of student loan, which just punishes people who actually paid off their debt, or for some reason you want to pay off some rich kid who went to, say, Syracuse for $70,000 a year. You want to pay off his $280,000 loan with other people's tax money. So they have failed us at virtually every level, right? But it's not just that, those few things. We also have this disastrous inflation problem and the immigration stuff, which is a disaster. And now this is all becoming a liability for Joe Biden. So it's suddenly like, well, wait a minute. If they feel they can fire up the base with the abortion stuff, perhaps that had a little something to do with the leak, because the guy's got a whole bunch of problems.
It says that the president's pollster had sounded the alarm about inflation and immigration becoming political liabilities, coupled with this new polling that is out today that shows that voters trust Republicans more, believe that they are better suited to handle both of these issues. So can you speak to how the administration is digesting this data, including these remarks from the pollster? And is there a sense right now that there needs to be some kind of course correction on these 2 issues, given that polling and the midterms being just 6 months out?
Well, let me first say that that report was about a range of polling that goes back to last year, including before a number of events happened, whether it was the invasion of Russia into Ukraine or even the uptick of COVID that we saw late in the summer and into the fall, really primarily in the fall.
Okay, so the point here is the administration has disasters at every level. The war in Ukraine, like just all of the stuff. We all know this. Inflation, supply chain, okay, fine. So we have all these disasters all over the place. And one of the things that we now know for sure from polling, and I can tell you as a humble author who just went on a book tour, when I meet people out on the streets and who come to my shows, I'm meeting a huge amount of people who are now telling me, Dave, I was a lifelong Democrat just like you. I'm never going to vote for a Democrat again. I'm not a lefty anymore. I'm a sort of moderate conservative, or I'm a libertarian, or I'm a classical liberal, some version of all that. But wouldn't it be interesting if the leak really was about scaring the shit out of those people who have been on the fence, the Bill Maher types, who there's a huge swath of them. There's a huge swath of them. They've been silenced and they've been cowed into irrelevance. But those are the people who could decide the next election, these sort of disaffected liberals who have had it with the progressives, who have been on their way to, say, becoming conservative, Republican, whatever phrase you want to use on that, whatever label you want to use. But now this thing comes out, and then that pushes them all back because abortion is just such a freaking personal, powerful issue.